Hi everyone, welcome to Solid Waste Management. Today we're going to do a very quick overview of the solid waste management operations in CBRM, and we're going to just review everything that you're going to see over the next couple of months. So in this picture you can just get a little feel for what our waste management site looks like. So in this picture, you can see a map of Nova Scotia, and you can also see New Brunswick. We are located in the country called Canada. The Cape Breton Regional Municipality is actually located on an island called Cape Breton Island. And CBRM is the second largest municipality in Nova Scotia. So in this picture here, you can see this is where Cape Breton Island is located. And the waste management facility operations in CBRM is located in a community called Sydney. Our municipality was established in 1995 following the amalgamation of 8 municipalities, which included the municipality county of Cape Breton, the former city of Sydney, the former town of Glace Bay, former town of Sydney Mines, the former town of New Waterford, former town of North Sydney, the former town of Dominion, and the former town of Louisbourg. All of these different towns used to operate as their own separate entities before amalgamation. The boundary of CBRM includes all of Cape Breton County and 2 First Nation communities called Eskasoni and Member 2. So Eskasoni would be located in about this little area right here where you can see the red dot, and Eskasoni is right down here. We do not service these 2 communities for waste management, but they do bring their waste to our site in Sydney. The Cape Breton Regional Municipality is governed by a municipal council composed of 1 mayor, elected at large, and 12 councillors, each elected to represent a separate district throughout CBRM. The Regional Council is responsible for all facets of municipal government, including police, fire, library, transit, water, and of course, solid waste management, which is what we're going to be focusing on. The Solid Waste Department oversees all solid waste management initiatives across CBRM. My department is responsible for overseeing the collection, the management, the processing, disposal of, and/or the shipping of material that's generated by the residential sector. And the residential sector makes up the people that live in the Cape Breton Regional Municipality. The Solid Waste Department is responsible for accepting, managing, processing, and properly disposing of waste generated by the industrial, commercial, and institutional sectors, which we refer to as the ICI. And that's our businesses, our schools, our universities, and all the other businesses that operate in the regional municipality. So we're also required to follow regulatory requirements. And these regulatory requirements are put into place by our Nova Scotia government and our municipal government. So for the Nova Scotia component of regulatory requirements, this is determined by our Nova Scotia Environment, which is a provincial section of government. Nova Scotia Environment issues our operating permits for our various sites that we're going to explore. They enact disposal bans through solid waste resource management regulations, which tells us what we're able to accept and we're not able to accept at our various sites. And they establish goals for meeting important diversion targets. Our municipal bylaw, which is established through our municipal council, outlines who receives municipal curbside collection, which here in CBRM, we only service the residential sector. Our commercial sector is responsible for coming up with their own ways to get their waste to our various sites. They enact disposal bans based on provincial regulations. So if we want to take extra measures to ensure we're having the best waste management programs in place, our municipal council can give us the direction to do so. And they also set the tipping fees for the commercial sector. Here in our municipality, unlike a lot of other municipalities, we do not charge tipping fees for our residential users, just our business and our commercial sectors. The services provided by our department is a combination of municipal forces and contracted services. What that means is we do some of our collection services in-house with our own staff, and we contract out the rest of the services to private companies. So for residential curbside collection, we have a combination of municipal forces and contracted services that would go around the municipality collecting waste from our residential sector. The operation of our mixed waste transfer station is municipal forces process materials at the transfer station, and we have contracted services that load and ship the materials to Guysborough County, which is the location of our second generation landfill site. We operate a construction and demolition site, and our municipal forces process the materials that get put into this site. The operation of our public waste drop-off area is done by our municipal forces, and we oversee our public drop-off area, and we transport the mixed waste to the transfer station, and our contracted services, of course, will load and ship that material to Guysborough County. We operate a metal pile, and that's done by municipal forces, directs materials to our metal pile, and the contracted services are on site, and they will process, ship, and market the metals that are brought into our site. The operation of Camden Recycling Limited, we own the facility and the operations, but we contract out the services, so they process, ship, and market the materials on our behalf. The operation of our compost facility, we own and operate the facility and the curing building, and it's also operated and run by municipal forces. We also operate a leaf and yard drop-off site here on the waste management site, and we have 3 seasonal leaf and yard drop-off sites that are located in 3 communities across CBRM. They operate between mid-May and mid-November, and our location here at the waste management site is open all year round, and our staff operate our leaf and yard drop-off sites. So our first site is Camden Recycling, and it's located over in 345 Golf Crescent in Edwardsville. It's approximately a 25-minute drive from our waste management site, and it's located in another community in CBRM. On this site, we also have a residential hazardous waste depot, and this is where residents can bring all of their hazardous waste materials to this site. We do not allow the commercial sector to bring hazardous waste site because we're not set up to collect commercial hazardous waste. We can only accept from the residential sector. And of course, our waste management facility is located on 145 Spar Road, and we have a few different operations that take place here on this site. We operate our compost facility and our curing building. So this building here is our compost facility, and this little building that you can see right here is where we store our finished material after it has went through the composting process. We also have a public drop-off area on the site, and you can see that we have different sections set up, and these sections will tell our residents and our smaller commercial businesses what should be placed in each of these bins. Over here you can see that we have a sign that says caution, do not stand on the ramp. That's because we don't want people to stand on this little area right here because it's not very secure, and if they stand on it, they can potentially fall into the container. We also operate our metal pile. So in this picture here, you can see the metal debris that gets dropped off. The material that would be in this picture would have been brought in by our residential sector, and a lot of it would have been brought in by businesses and commercial sectors. Over here, you can see this is where all of the material would start to get baled. Once it's compacted, it would be put into this machine, and then it would come out as a bale of metal. Another component of our metals is we also accept appliances from our residents and commercial sector as well. So you can see in this picture that we have lots of fridges, stoves, there's probably deep freezers in the mix. And what will happen is our contractor, when ready, will also process these materials and bale them, and then we'll ship them off to various markets. This area here is where we allow our smaller commercial businesses and residential sector to bring mixed wood debris. So once we get enough of this debris, it's put into a container and we'll bring it up to the construction and demolition landfill site. We do not allow residents or smaller commercial businesses to travel up to the C&D hill. We only allow larger commercial outfits to go up in this area. And you can see a picture here of our clean wood debris, and then a picture of the clean wood debris that would have got shredded in our shredder. So we have a separate pile for clean wood, then we shred it, and we will use this as fill on our various sites in order to keep our property neat and tidy. And here is the picture of the construction and demolition site. So over here you can see a pile of the construction and demolition site that would have either been brought up by our larger commercial businesses and construction companies, or it may have been from the pile of debris that you just saw in an earlier slide. And once we're ready to process the material, it gets buried, and this is what the site looks like once all of the debris in this picture here gets buried and processed by our loader operator in this area. And here's a picture of our leaf and yard debris. And this is also an area that's located here on the waste management site. And we accept leaf and yard all year round in this area. In this picture, you can see a lot of trees and a lot of brush that would have been brought in over the last week because we just recently had a tropical storm and it caused a lot of trees to come down. So we've had residents and we had the smaller landscaping companies bringing in the debris, cleaning up after that recent storm. And here is our 3 seasonal leaf and yard drop-off sites that we operate between mid-May and mid-November. This picture here, number 1, is located over in a community called North Sydney, and it's open 1 day a week for residents. Our second drop-off site, labeled number 2, is located in a community called Glace Bay, and it operates on Saturdays. And the third leaf and yard drop-off site, labeled number 3, is located in a community called New Waterford, and this depot also operates 1 day a week on Saturdays. Here on the site, we also have what's called a maintenance shop, and this maintenance shop is set up to work on our collection vehicles and any of our equipment that we use during the waste management process. If we have a truck breakdown or if we have a piece of machinery that needs work, we would take it to our maintenance shop and they do all of the repairs for us. Here's a picture of our administration building, and our administration offices are also located on the waste management site, and this is what our building looks like. In the past, this building here didn't always be an office building. It actually used to be a storage facility for biomedical waste, and we accepted biomedical waste from all across Nova Scotia. Here's a picture of our mixed waste transfer station. We're going to talk about this in more detail later in the month, but this is the area where our municipal garbage from our residents and from our commercial sectors come for processing before we ship it off to the second generation landfill site in Guysborough. And here's a picture of what the second generation landfill site looks like. So here you can see the sign that welcomes you to Guysborough Waste Management Facility. It's located about 2.5 hours away from the Cape Breton Regional Municipality. So we actually have to ship our garbage by tractor trailer 2.5 hours, Monday through to Saturday. Every day we send probably about 4 to 6 tractor trailer loads of garbage a day to Guysborough 6 days a week. And this is what the second generation landfill site looks like. So in this picture, you don't see garbage. All you see is a hill with different layers. And those different layers actually protects the surrounding environment and ecosystem. It's to make sure that the garbage that we're throwing away as a municipality does not escape out into the environment. So it has all the important measures in place to make sure the garbage does not impact our groundwater, it does not impact surface water, and it doesn't impact the air or the surrounding environments. And that's extremely important, and that's one of the reasons why we actually started to change the way we manage waste across not only CBRM, but across Nova Scotia. So the services that we provide actually set up how we do our collection operations. So the Solid Waste Department provides curbside collection services to eligible premises, which is established in our municipal bylaws. And it's our council that help determine who we're going to provide curbside collection for and who's going to be responsible on their own to pay for this service. So here in CBRM, we provide curbside collection to single-family dwellings, including mobile homes. And a single-family dwelling is where you just have one family living in a household. Multi-unit residential dwellings constitutes a unit in a duplex, a row house, townhouse, where there is more than one unit where you have families living. And most times these multi-units will have street or road frontage. And we will collect from apartment units, but it has to be 6 units or less. Anything greater than 6 units, they have to hire a contractor to come in and manage the garbage, blue bags, and organics. And we also service all our fire halls and condominiums. So the Solid Waste Department provides curbside collection service to approximately 44,000 eligible premises across the municipality. And we just learned in the previous slide that eligible premises are households, small apartment units, multifamily units, condominiums, and fire halls. Our curbside collection schedule operates between Tuesday and Saturday, and we start at 8 a.m. and we finish probably around 4 p.m. on the same day. So we do not provide collection services on Sundays and Mondays here in CBRM. Residential collection is carried out by a combination of our municipal forces, which is our own municipal collectors, and we contract the service out to 2 collection companies. Curbside collection is serviced by municipal staff in the areas of Dominion, Glace Bay, Sydney, and Whitney Pier. The remaining communities that make up CBRM are serviced by contracted services. So here is how our services operate in CBRM. So garbage collection, we collect garbage in clear garbage bags, and it's provided on a weekly basis. Once the materials are collected, it's taken to the mixed waste transfer station and we ship it off to Guysborough County. Our blue bag collection program, we collect in blue bags only. It's a bi-weekly program, which means we collect every second week on your scheduled curbside collection day. When the vehicle is filled, the blue bags are taken to Camden Recycling Limited for processing. Organics collection, which we carry out using green carts, is done on a weekly basis. And once the vehicle is filled, the material is taken to CBRM's compost facility, which is located on the property of the waste management site. Garbage and organics are collected in the same collection vehicle, which we refer to as dual stream collecting. This means that we have the capabilities to keep the garbage separated from the organic materials. Once a year, during the month of January, we also provide curbside Christmas tree collection. We usually do it the first 2 weeks in January. Once the vehicles collect the Christmas trees, they're taken to our waste management facility and they're stored on site in our leaf and yard pile. And we also provide an annual heavy garbage collection. Typically, our heavy garbage is carried out in the early spring, which is usually between March and May, depending on when our snow leaves. But this year, due to COVID and all of the restrictions that were put in place, we are actually carrying out our heavy garbage collection this fall. And it's actually going to be starting on Monday, September 28th, which is in a couple of days from now. So we'll go around and we'll collect heavy garbage from all of the eligible premises across CBRM, and the material will be brought to our waste management site and it'll be sorted, processed, and recycled, or it's going to be disposed of. The Solid Waste Department accepts waste material from the commercial sector, but we don't provide collection. So when we have businesses and other commercial businesses coming into our site, we charge them with a fee, which we refer to as a tipping fee. So over here in this schedule right here, you can see the costs that we charge our commercial sector when they bring this type of material into our site. So residual mixed waste, which we refer to as garbage, is charged $96.35 per ton. Construction and demolition unsorted material, the business would be charged $96.35 a ton. Construction and demolition wood, if it's considered clean wood debris, you're only charged $48.17 per ton. We also will accept impacted soil, and what we mean by impacted soil is soil that has been contaminated in some way when it was in an area. And we charge $36.13 a ton. Scrap metal, we charge $36.13 a ton. Our organics, this is considered clean organics, is $60.22 a ton. And our organics unsorted, we refer to as organics that has been contaminated with materials that we aren't supposed to accept at our facility, such as plastics or metals or anything else that shouldn't be in organic waste. And when it comes in contaminated, the collector for that commercial business is going to be charged $90.35 a ton. We accept asbestos, and asbestos is charged in two ways. We have what's called friable asbestos and non-friable. So the friable, we accept regulation bags, and it has to equal at least $600. And the non-friable is charged $96.35 a ton. And of course, leaf and yard we accept from our commercial businesses, and we do not charge any tipping fees. Camden Recycling at the moment does not charge commercial tipping fees for any of our customers and haulers, with the exception of our native reservations and other municipalities that may choose to use Camden for their blue bag materials. So the solid waste department accepts selected waste from the ICI sector. So as you just learned, we do charge tipping fees to our ICI customers and our commercial haulers, and we don't provide curbside collection. Our waste management site can only accept materials that can be managed, processed, marketed, or disposed of according to our provincial regulations and requirements. So selected waste, the solid waste department is not permitted to process or dispose of here at our site, would include things like hazardous waste, some electronics that would fall under the electronics recycling program, vehicle tires, paint products, etc. So those materials the province has mandated as not being permitted to come to any of our sites. So those commercial businesses have to make arrangements for the disposal on their own. So material dropped off at this site is received from the residential sector, and we receive it from commercial sectors. We also accept materials from Member 2 First Nations and Eskasoni First Nations. All visitors who enter the waste management facility must report at a scale house, and this is what our scale house looks like. Each vehicle is weighed when entering the site on the inbound scale, which is here, and the empty vehicle, when it's ready to leave after it's unloaded its waste, would get weighed on the outbound scale, which is over in this area right here. As a department, we're required to track and document all material that gets dropped off at our site, and we're required to weigh the materials. The scale house operator will ask a visitor or the customer for the following information, and we ask this of not only our commercial users but also our residential users as well. So we require the license plate of the vehicle, the reason why you're coming to the site. Most times the reason is to drop off material. Other reasons, maybe they want to come talk to someone at the administration office. And the material being dropped off for disposal, we want to know that because they want to know how that person is going to be charged. So the registration form is an important component of our operations. Anyone that enters the site that's not registered is asked to fill out a customer registration form, which looks exactly like this orange document that I just placed the X on. The information is important so we can identify our commercial haulers or customers from our residential users. We are also required to report this data to the Nova Scotia Environment each year. So our scale data that we get from the scale operator provides us with the amount of material that's disposed of in the second generation landfill site. So that's all of the garbage that's taken to our site that's prepared and sent back to the mixed waste transfer station. And it also gives us important information on the materials that we're able to divert and or process here on our own sites. Those numbers, along with the other municipal and provincial programs in place to divert waste, help calculate what's called diversion credits. These diversion credits help support and fund our waste diversion efforts that we have taking place in CBRM. Thank you. See you all next time.